Hello, folks. This video is gonna be about me as a registered Democrat, and so even though that I do not toe party lines, I don't really subscribe to like particular ideologies, even though that I'm left leaning. But you know, uh, ever since I have been following politics. I've always been like following Democrats, and I've been a registered Democrat since when I registered to vote. And I voted. It was during the time when Obama was running for re-election. So there's actually a lot of like media fiasco and fiasco within the party itself about one of the vice chairs of the Democratic National Committee or Democratic Party, and that's David Hogg. And some of you viewers who might be watching this might not know who David Hogg is, but in 2018 he was a high school student and he was a advocate after he was a victim of this mass shooting in Parkland, Florida, in a high school. I'll just leave it right there. But right now, he's a one of the vice chairs of the Democratic Party, besides Congressman Malcolm Kenyatta of Pennsylvania. So one of the fiasco is that people in the media and people in the party themselves are almost freaking out and taking him out of context, thinking that he's going to challenge every incumbent Democrat. And now even Congressman Kenyatta has been babbling in podcasts and interviews, saying that he's out of touch or he's just talking about himself. And I disagree because, as I was going stumbling through David Hogg's interviews, and he's absolutely right that I think there's really need changes in the party. There needs to be a lot of reforms within the party. There needs to be a change of status quo within the party itself. And I'm saying this as a registered Democrat because I do agree that last year in 2024, the Democratic Party fucked up big time. They screwed up big time. And they did a bad job campaigning big time. And it's very observant that the the mainstream and establishment from both Republicans and Democrats are losing the demographics of young people. And not to mention that the Republican Party, the state where it is today, has gone full-fledged far right. They have accepted super fascism as their way of their party's ideology. Meanwhile, there are Democrats out there, some who are for status quo, some are establishment, some are progressives, even there are far left people within the party, even though that there's not any extreme left within the party. Now, I don't, even though I've contributed money to Democratic candidates, I've supported Democratic candidates, I've supported the Democratic Party, but not within the party lines, but in terms of like what is true common sense, what's really good for the community, and of course what is great for small businesses, and also what's good for employees who work for big corporations, and for the able to the right to unionize. Now, I do agree. Now, here's why, as a registered Democrat, a lifelong Democrat myself, I actually stand by with David Hogg. I stand by with David Hogg for his beliefs, because ever since he was elected as one of the vice chairs, he has been saying this on podcasts. He has been saying this in interviews that he is looking forward to challenge Democratic incumbents and Democrats who have proven to be useless, spineless, just steering the wheel, or out of touch Democrats. And I do agree with that, even though that some of them I may disagree, some I may agree. But he is absolutely right that there's Democrats out there that haven't been reaching out to their constituents. They have not been reaching out to what is the best for people of the younger generations, and what's also best for the older generations. It cannot just be with people who are in the educated level or in other higher up levels. It should be also in the bottom level, and especially those who are less educated. And I do agree why, and I know the reason why David Hogg is on this mission, because yes, I think the Democratic Party did not do well enough to really register more young voters and new voters and voters of newer generations, where there could be millennials or Generation Z, including probably possibly the new Alpha generation. But my point is that I have sympathy for people who think voting is inconvenient or voting doesn't do anything, because yeah, because regardless of party, you know, there's not that much changes. Also, the reason why I do agree with David Hogg, because Congressman Jerry Connolly just died as I am recording this video. And there's been a lot of Democratic congressmen that have been elected and who are older, but they've died a month later, they've died 2 months later, they've died 3 months later, even gonna be dead 4 months later, and possibly who's probably gonna be the next Democratic candidate that's gonna be dead, who are from the older guard. And I do support the fact that we need younger, stronger, better, and even faster people who should be elected to such positions in the local, state, and federal level. And not necessarily fast, because, like, some people try to take it slow in order to, you know, get things in order. But, you know, primary people from both sides who are very old, they know that they have cancer, and they know that they're going to die months before, even after, before or after they get elected. And we're just putting in people who don't have a specific agenda, or who are weaker candidates or weaker incoming uh, government officials. So, uh, even though that there's just a lot of party and media fiasco going on, but David Hogg is right, because, like, well, I do agree with the fact that there are incumbents who have been around for more than 3 decades, and they're very strong. And, I think they should be there until they find someone who's stronger and better than the current incumbents, who are older and have been around for more than 30 years or more than 20 years at least, who should be let go and pave it for someone younger, stronger, faster, even better. So this is why I do support these radical changes within the Democratic Party itself, even the Republican Party too, because the more because it's understandable why people, even younger generations, are voting nonpartisan or independent because they think that both parties haven't done enough to reach their goals or to reach what are the interests of the people from those younger generations. So, this is my video of like why I do support these changes in the party itself, coming from me as a full long registered Democrat and a solid Democrat. Even though I am somewhat progressive leaning, I am half center leaning, but I am for like whatever is the very, very best for communities of different factions in whatever city or state that they live in. So, yeah.